This is a Hammarlund SP-600 military shortwave receiver that I recently acquired from the estate of a silent key. It was a friend of mine. And I bought it home, powered it up, and on a variac slowly, and it works. And here, I'll show you. I got it in transmit right now. I'll switch it to receive.
I like them. I love it. Good bunch. This is the Ramsey Show.
Got the volume, RF gain, all the way up for AM. Other assorted knobs. I won't go into them all because the main thing I want to show you is the tuning knob. Does not move the dials. Does not move the dials. And I narrowed it down to a roller that's supposed to make a friction contact with another roller, and it's just so old and worn down that it's just not making contact anymore. And there's a spring on the other roller to push it up. And I picked up a used roller, and this is the contact area that is worn down on the on mine, and I'll show that to you in the radio. So this goes behind this knob, and this goes behind this knob. Before I do that, I'll just show you the chassis of the radio. It's pretty dirty. It was sitting in a garage for years, probably untouched. It's got all the original capacitors, but it works. The only thing I had to do is I had to put on a new SO239 connector with an elbow. There was some kind of connector there. I couldn't identify it until I unscrewed it and took it out, and it said SO239. It was shattered. It was like broken, and it was all black, and I couldn't quite figure out what the heck it was, but it was an SO239. These actually came with some of them came with a different connector, but a lot of people switched them over to SO239s, and Hammarlund actually approved that. And the specifications here, it's hard to read, but it's a JX-1, which is the first issue. This goes back to 1951, the year they came out. So like I said, it's working, and I'm going to show you my worn out roller. So here's the roller that is all worn down and smooth. It's supposed to turn this roller, which I can turn with my finger. I can actually tune in stations with my finger. And there's a little, they call it an S spring. Right here, there's a little spring. That seems to be fine. It's pushing the roller as far as it'll go, but it's not making contact with that. There was a little bit of crud built up on the roller when I got it, and indeed I look on the web. There's a lot of documentation about this, and somebody recommends using a solution of graphite powder and denatured alcohol, and that might have been what was on there. It was on there kind of in spots. I'm not sure. So somebody may have tried to do that in the past. So let me put it in receive.
Your work that you love and actual amazing relationships. Mike is with us.
And I can tune it
Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
by turning this knob.
Thanks, Dave. Happy that you took my
Let me
phone
see here.
call, and thanks for giving me the tools to really change my life.
Cars with a K. To donate your car today.
Oh, there we go. Yankees are on. So this is AM 660 out of New York. I'm in Vermont, and that other station was AM 620. Not too far away from me. So I'm going to have to take the front panel off to do that, and I'm not looking forward to doing that. I don't even know if it's going to work. I'm looking at this roller, and I can't tell with the naked eye if this one's any better. But I guess I'll find out. Take the front panel off, maybe wash it in a little warm soapy water, and put these knobs in my cleaner. I forget what it's called, ultrasonic cleaner. Clean them up, and then give it a try. Here's the front. Sorry, it's sideways, but here's the front of the tag, sideways. There's a little window with the megacycles. So that'll be my little project. Here's the original big can capacitor. Might as well show you the rest of it while I'm here.
Between first and second, the shortstop plays in the middle.
It's all original.
So I guess that's the reason. Let me get 1-0 to Gallo. And the fastball is high, 2-0.
And we'll see what happens.
Tampa Bay is in Texas.
Here we are with the front panel removed. I washed it in a little warm soapy water. Came out a little better. I'll put that off to the side. Here's what the radio looks like with the panel off. It appears that the people that had this radio in the military, if it wasn't a military, were smokers. There's quite a bit of yellow residue on the dials. I'm not sure if I'm going to wash them or not. The roller is a bit of a disappointment. I put it in and there was no difference. In fact, I noticed now, I didn't notice this earlier, the one that the guy sent me is broken. It's a little shorter. So here's the roller that turns the dial, and I'm thinking now that this one might be the one that's worn down. And I didn't think at the time to ask the guy if he had the other roller, because on the web they made it sound like that was the roller that was failing. Now I'm thinking it was this one, so I emailed him and asked him if he had that, and he said no, he no longer has it. And I don't have a machine shop, so I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that. Hang on, I'm going to show you something else. I cleaned the knobs in my ultrasonic cleaner, and is that steam coming off of that? Is this thing still hot? Oh, this thing still has the heater on. Look at the copper color of that. That's probably cigarette smoke. Came off the knobs. Here they are, all nice and clean. I just put them in for 180 seconds. I didn't want to go too much longer because I don't want any numbers to start coming off the knobs. So they're nice and clean. One mistake I made earlier in the video was I said the build-up that you could put on these rollers was graphite. It turned out it was rosin and denatured alcohol. So it also turns out you need 3 different. See, you need 3 different Allen wrenches to get this thing apart. And there were a couple, going back to this, a couple things that wind up staying on there. This nut, and this tuning lock. This tuning lock didn't seem to be hooked up to anything. There's probably something else that isn't working. These 2 screws I did not need to take out, because as soon as I did, this plastic cover dropped inside the radio. I'll wash that next and screw that back in. And then here's what's on the other side of those nuts. You can remove them once it's off. but it was kind of tricky because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get everything apart. And being so old, everything kind of stuck, but it eventually did come off. Now, there were some snap rings, little tiny snap rings around the shaft that were fighting me, and they were really tiny. I couldn't even know they were there, and they did not survive. And so putting it back together without those snap rings, I don't know if the knob is going to be a little bit loose, but it's a possibility. I want to do another shot of the underside. I was watching my video earlier and it was kind of shaky and didn't really show much. You can see those red ones there, those are original. These are called bathtub capacitors. And there's actually information about those on the web. Sometimes it's hard to tell when I'm looking at. But that's another shot of the underside. So I just put the original roller back on. I slid this knob on for now. And it's actually turning it slightly. I'll do this now you can see the bottom one better. It's turning it slightly, which is kind of what I was doing when I first got it. And then what I do is I clean that roller, I clean some crap off of it, and then it's just freewheeled. So, but this is annoying and fatiguing. Maybe I will look into getting that rosin mixture on the roller. For now, I'm going to put it together and think about it. Oh, I washed the dials in a little, I didn't take them off. I washed them in a little warm soapy water. Just put a little bucket next to me here and just kind of dabbed at them and scrubbed them up a little bit and got a lot of the yellow off, a lot of the nicotine. So what I want to do now is, I can't remember if I checked it out on all the HF bands, all the shortwave bands, and make sure it receives signals in all the bands. So I'm going to do that. Right now it's nighttime, and I'll check those, and then tomorrow I'll check some of the higher bands. Here I am on the second band up, receiving some broadcast. And I also heard some sideband on 160 meters. I could not tune it in. I tried turning down the RF gain and the audio gain up and did the crystal phasing. This thing does not have a product detector. I thought maybe I could get it, but I couldn't. But I heard it. So now we'll try another band.
This is V2 the Mountain Light. We will hold the coming and standing by.
That was a Victor Echo 2 at Quebec station calling CQ on 80 meters AM. I have some 40 meters FT8. I forgot to tell you, I washed the dials. No, I did tell you. I wanted to tell you that this is what they look like all washed. And I cleaned up the light bulbs a little bit. One of them looks a little dull. So this thing's definitely off frequency. It says 6.9, and it should be 7.074. Oh, come on. I lost the focus. So it's out of alignment. But it's picking it up pretty good. I heard a bunch of short wave stations between 80 and 40 meters. Little 20 meters upper sideband. I'm now up to the 7.4 to 14.8 scale. 1, 2, 3, we're on the fourth band up. So far it's getting reception on all the bands. I was able to tune that guy in with playing with, what's that say, the beat oscillator, the crystal phasing, put it in CW, narrowed the selectivity, and I was able to get him in. He's calling CQDX. I think he's in Europe.
That will be held from 26th and 28th July 2022. This is not a competition, but a chance for radio operators to train on a variety of individual operator skills. For more information, to register for the skills, pause and take a listener survey. Go to www.vocnor.org.
Well, WWV seems to be pretty close. Oh, here he is. There's CHU on their 7 megahertz frequency. I forget what it's supposed to be for 7 megahertz. I know where they are on 3 megahertz, so 3.330.
Universel coordonné. 2 heures, 13 minutes. 2 hours, 14 minutes.
Well, that means it's past my bedtime. So I'm going to call it quits here, and I will check the high band tomorrow during the day.
Bruxelles, Amsterdam, les aéroports européens les plus importants sont sur le bord de pôle entrée après plusieurs jours week-end de trafic qui n'a cessé d'augmenter. Le syndicat de police Paul a déjà dénoncé le besoin de personnel.
Okay, it's the next day. I'm on band 5 out of 6. I'm hearing 17,855 at 18,000.
Les Britanniques ne sont plus citoyens de l'UE et donc doivent passer vers 6 de sécurité plus strictes. Ceci
And I thought it'd be polite if I moved the speaker closer. In the previous parts of the video, I had it way behind the radio, which was making it hard for you to hear, but now I got it up closer.
l'Espagne, dont 20% des touristes sont d'origine britannique, pourrait se trouver entre les plus affectés. À cet égard, le ministère de l'Intérieur a déjà annoncé son propos d'augmenter la.
So I'm on band 6, which is way off to the right. Way off to the right, you see that number 30 on the high band. So I am picking up something on band 6. I didn't hear them on band 5 when I went by the first time. I'm going to try again. This is 27065, which is CB channel 9. Hola. Hola. So I'm going to go back down to the other band, see if I can hear them, because the only thing I heard before was that one I just showed you. Well, I found them, and they're just about 27065 on this scale. Took a while to find them because propagation has been changing while I was trying to find them. I heard some guys on sideband, but they weren't talking long enough for me to try to tune them in. So I just checked FT8. 10 and 12 meters are dead, but 15 meters has some strong signals. So I'm going to go back to 21074 and see if I hear FT8 on 15 meters. Well, I found the 15 meters FT8 signal. It's very weak compared to my ham radio. And it's at about 21,200. but it's picking it up. So good for that. I just had dinner, and FT8 sounding a little louder now. It also sounds better if I use the RF gain all the way up like normal and just use the audio gain. What else? One of the C clips survived that was behind one of these three knobs. I think I put it here, but this one could really use it. I might take it off and take it up to the hardware store and match it up. I think I said snapping before, but it's a C clip. So this knob wouldn't go all the way on, and there's a coupling in here that it just pushes. You can see it going in and out as I push on it. So that had a C clip there, and if the C clip was there, I could tap on this with a mallet or something, get it to go on. Maybe I should take a file and clean it up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I kind of did what I did. I wanted to evaluate it, and you know, there's more steps I could take. I read that I could clean the chassis with easy off oven cleaner. I could try to sell it on eBay or locally. Not sure how much more I want to do. I already have a Hammarlund SP-600 that I never get to listen to. So that's about it. That's about the end of the video of my Hammarlund SP-600, also known as the R-274A/FRR, serial number 144. It says SP-600 right there. That says U.S. property and some other stuff. Over here there's some more yellow paint. You can paint these and then redo the lettering because it's, forget the word, but it's recessed. So you can paint the panel on these and then fill in the recessed areas with white paint and give it a whole new fresh look.